Welcome back to Therapy Thursday. Today we're going to start a three-part series on a hot topic right now in regards to sports therapy, that being scapular stabilization. So we're going to talk about it from a different perspective than what you may be used to. To us, by definition, scapular stabilization implies that somebody has an unstable scapula or a shoulder blade that has excessive motion. And though scapular stabilization or an abnormal movement pattern in your scapula has been linked to a number of topics, it seems like every referral we get to the clinic for the shoulder, regardless of the shoulder condition, has scapular stabilization exercise as part of it. And as we know, knowing when to perform a certain set of rehab exercises is just as important as those rehab exercises themselves. Instead of thinking of scapular stabilization exercises as an unstable scapula, we like to begin people with what we call motor control exercises. By definition, a motor control exercise is having the ability to utilize certain muscle groups in sequence to control a movement pattern. It's an excellent place to start with scapular stabilization exercises, and this is shown to be an issue since back in 1996 when it was shown that people have excessive shoulder hiking when they're actually trying to utilize their scapula for movement. So we like to go through three phases of exercises. The first, which we'll show today, are motor control exercises for the scapula. Once that's been established, we move to slightly more complex dynamic exercises and follow that up at the end with functional exercises. So this will be part one. Our first exercise is a basic protraction and retraction seen here. We're going to focus on the protraction, which is a part where Johnny is pushing his shoulder forward. Now, despite the fact we're using this as a motor control exercise, we can also use it as an evaluative technique. We're utilizing multiple planes because despite the fact that the serratus anterior is seen to show activity as you go up, like here, seen at 120 degrees, that can also cause impingement syndrome, so we want to make sure we're using multiple planes. We see here that Johnny tends to hike his shoulder up when he's retracting from a low angle, so that's something we could work on. A secondary advancement of a simple retraction exercise is to do it with a little bit of TheraBand resistance. It's still a simple protraction. Here we're just showing it at the 90-degree angle, but it gives a person the input when he's returning to the retracted state of whether or not his full shoulder blade or scapula actually contacts the floor. We're going to see it from the side in just a moment, but when we focus on the underarm, you can see Johnny really contracting his serratus anterior, which is where the muscle lies. Here you can see him retracting, pushing his shoulder blade flat against the ground, and then protracting to be able to lift it up. We enjoy giving this exercise as it gives a person some kinesthetic awareness. Our final and slightly more advanced protraction exercise is that of a sled push. So Johnny's going to start in a retracted state and protract against the weight of the actual sled. Again, we're going to do it at various angles, seen at 60 degrees, 120 degrees where the serratus will be slightly more active, and finally at the 90-degree or neutral angle.